Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. So now let's talk about what's happening with silver's price. A lot is going on right now. We're going to highlight the main stuff that you got to know. Folks, you're going to want to stick all the way through because there is layers to this. I also have to mention my giveaway entry video is live, but not for too much longer. You're not going to want to miss this as the prizes are massive as we approach 100,000 subscribers. So we have a couple different articles we're going to be jumping into. This is talking about silver price forecast. Silver jumps on geopolitical tensions and Fed speculation. Also, this is an interesting title. Silver, will the gray metal shine brighter in the months to come? And then we're also going to go over silver's price right now and what happened. So with that said, make sure you like the video if you like the video and subscribe. So silver price per ounce is $22.72. You saw around October 12th a huge leap upwards from around $21.81 all the way up to almost 23. And then it seems like we hit a little bit of resistance, and I think that's what this article mentions. So we will jump into this stuff. We'll start with this article first because it seems like it's more covering the meat and potatoes, and this one's more of like a chart analysis. They're both important, though, as they go hand in hand. So spot price climbs as the Fed's dovish signals, geopolitical unrest, and China's softening economy create a perfect storm for silver. And that's what I always say. You know, the perfect storm is here. It's like the stars have aligned. The perfect storm is here, and I only see things becoming more opportunistic for silver, and not just talking about in the next couple of weeks. I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things in the next couple of years. So silver prices enjoy their strongest weekly gains in months with multiple tailwinds in play. The Federal Reserve's rate hike outlook seems uncertain, lifting prospects for both gold and silver. Geopolitical tensions in the Middle East underscore silver's role as a safe haven asset, and economic signals from China point to a softening economy, a bullish sign for silver prices. I also want to mention this, what I was just saying about, you know, the week-to-week stuff looking bullish for silver. You don't want to sell too early. Yes, there's a good chance silver will hit $50 in the next maybe 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years even, but you can't throw in the towel then, because when we're talking about the next 5, 10, 15 years, just imagine what silver's value will be by then. You know, and I think a lot of people are expecting to just cash out when silver does hit $50, $60, thinking it won't go any higher since that's what happened in 1980 and 2011. But nowadays, things are much different. The dollar's at a much different place. The world's at a much different place, and silver shortage is at a much different place as well. So silver surge amid a perfect storm of factors. Silver is basking in its strongest weekly gains in months, buoyed not just by geopolitical turmoil in the Middle East, but also by speculation that the Fed's interest rate hikes may be winding down. And if you want to hear another very, very thoughtful and I guess informational perspective on that whole thing, go check out the podcast that Andy Scheckman and I do every week. Andy covered all that stuff. He goes into Palestine, Israel stuff. He goes into the BRICS nations. It's very informational stuff. Go check that out. So anyways, concurrently, gold's stellar performance this week lends credence to silver's quick uptick, and that's with spot silver up 1.32% at $22.12, and U.S. silver futures rising 1.35% to $22.26 an ounce. The market's trajectory is clearly upwards. The Federal Reserve's changing winds, which is another huge factor. The Federal Reserve's policy moves have long had the financial markets on a string. Despite recent U.S. inflation data showing only a modest increase in consumer prices, market sentiment suggests the Fed's rate hiking days could soon be over. This has led to a pullback in both treasury yields and the dollar, further bolstering silver's appeal. You see how all these stars are starting to align? And I do see a lot of people that downplay silver or just say, oh, it's not going to do anything. And that might be true from a very short-term, simple-minded, closed-minded perspective, but you can't ignore the truth, the numbers, the reality. Maybe you could back in a day where things only happened once every couple of months, but like Andy said in the recent podcast, it's like every day now with, not only just the debt, not only just one war, not only just COVID, not only just silver setting record-breaking supply deficits this year, not only going green, not only the overspending, not only the BRICS nations and the de-dollarization or the USD as a world reserve currency, not only that, not only the dollar crumbling or the Fed rate hikes and this. Things are so much different than back in the day. You cannot look backwards and try to compare. This is unknown territory. This is foreign territory. We've never seen this happening, especially with the BRICS nations and the Belt Road Initiative and all that. We are not in the same situation, so you can't say, oh, silver's not going to do anything. When you look at the obvious signs, I could say pretty confidently that nothing else will do much, since everything else is pegged to the dollar, which is collapsing, right? But when you're looking at something like precious metals that have intrinsic value, that's tangible, where supply and demand fundamentals, have such an important factor on the price, you can't say that stuff. You'll end up kicking yourself later on. So China's softening economy. China is the biggest consumer of silver as well. China, a major player in the silver market, has exhibited weaker than expected inflation rates and factory prices, indicating a persistent deflationary pressure. And this is a bullish signal for silver prices, as deflationary scenarios often support demand for the precious metal. Another reason. Here's a short-term forecast, and I would like to compare this to this forecast. So, taking into account Fed policy speculation, global geopolitical tensions, and economic signals from China, silver appears poised to continue its upward trajectory. In the short term, expect silver to trade between $22.45 and $24.05, supported by economic uncertainties both in the U.S. and globally. And yeah, any type of price forecast, take with a grain of salt, because especially with what's happening right now between those two, anything can change at the drop of a dime. Nobody could have predicted COVID. Nobody could have predicted this invasion. Nobody can predict anything, and if you try to, or if someone says they know what's going to happen, do not listen to them, because the unknown variables are the most important and most influential. We have the 2024 election coming up. That's going to play a major part as well. I do know one thing, though. No matter what happens, the economy is going downhill, the dollar is going downhill, and it's only going to be beneficial to silver, but nothing else, gold and silver. So the current daily price of silver is at $22.13. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening right now with the technicals. Let's check out this article as well. Silver, will the gray metal shine brighter in the months to come? Metals are experiencing an upward trend this week due to geopolitical tensions between Israel and Hamas. During times of uncertainty, investors tend to favor safer and more stable assets and commodities, as they are less inclined to take risks. Stocks are generally viewed as riskier assets during such periods. And it shouldn't even be during such periods. It should be in general. It doesn't need, I don't know why a bank has to literally collapse for people to say, hey, maybe I should, put my money into something safer. Why does it take aftermath to prepare? That's not preparing. So even currencies can be perceived as uncertain, except for the US dollar. And I could beg to differ with that. Maybe not right now, but in the bigger picture. This week has witnessed a significant surge in metal prices, particularly silver, which has risen nearly 10% from its low of $20.70. This price movement has been quite substantial, attracting the attention of both investors and traders who may be considering joining this upward trend. So looking at it from an Elliott wave perspective, silver appears to be within the middle of a broader range, and the breakout might need some more time until the ABCDE triangle pattern is completed. However, when the breakout eventually occurs, it is likely to lead a sharp and profitable move. Now, they go into the triangle pattern. I really don't like going into all that stuff unless you are like a day trader or something. Then yeah, the prices from a day-to-day do matter. And from a true silver stacker, like a core stacker, which I'm assuming a lot of you are, the only reason price would matter that day is if you're looking to capitalize and lower your dollar per ounce average and buy cheaper. Like, let's say you're planning on making a big purchase, maybe waiting till next week or a couple of weeks is better if the price looks like it's still going to go down, right? That would be, a perfect opportunity, or even using the gold to silver ratio to your advantage to earn free silver or free gold, which some people do. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. I think that, a lot of factors are looking towards higher silver prices, like this first article really explained. It really did hit the nail on the head with all these different, things happening. And I don't want people to look so short-sighted, because they might, and especially if you're newer or you don't truly have faith in silver yet, then yes, a lot of things will tell you, hey, maybe I made the wrong decision. But when you truly do your research, and I tell you guys, do your own homework, but if you're going to do your homework, at least make sure the answers are correct. There's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of misleading information, which, rightfully so, with a lot of people pushing stocks and stuff that's detached from, attached to the dollar, and, people that invest in things that are detached, where you're taking the power away from them and putting it into your own hands. You are in complete control of your wealth, not at the mercy of a bank. You could see where those two can collide. The silver is a direct threat to the dollar, so of course you're going to see why there's negative push towards it, especially when you talk about price manipulation between these exchanges and like J.P. Morgan, which, by the way, owns the most silver in the world. The bank owns the most silver in the world. It's funny that a bank that has been caught manipulating silver's price, and with Jamie Dimon and all the corrupt stuff going on between them and the COMEX, and they're buying the most silver. Banks are pouring money into silver and gold, but they say it's not worth anything. That should show you. Just like Andy Schectman says, price is the greatest tool of misdirection. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now. Make sure that you subscribe and go enter my giveaway. If you guys want to purchase some silver, I recommend buying through Andy. He's the CEO of Miles Franklin. That's the company that filled that $50 million order from that billionaire from Texas. $50 million, he filled the order in 2 days. Nobody else would trust anyone else with that type of money, but Andy is respected enough. Send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. They will hook you up. New deals every single Monday. Great prices. You will be hooked up, I promise. Let them know Silver Slayer sent you, and I'm honored to be able to offer you guys a business relationship through Andy, since he is such a respected person and is the most well-connected person in the industry right now. And if you continue buying through them, then you have a relationship where a lot of people won't have that, or won't at all have that relationship, buying from some random person behind a screen where you don't even know their name. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go check out the podcast that Andy and I did 2 days ago. It's a very good episode. We talked about so much stuff. I pushed Andy on the Palestine situation. I pushed him into the BRICS nations. I pushed him into talking about what silver is going to do during this time, and I brought up the 2024 election. And it's just a really informational podcast. You all will get a lot out of that one. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.